Good morning. I'm sorry I'm a touch late. I was a little bit delayed getting ready this morning. So how are you? Right. Today what I would like to do is go over in detail the movement where you expand your chest to get your lungs in. And I'd like to kind of take you through that move absolutely step by step to make sure that you're getting that as good as you can. However, don't forget my main caveat, which is that whatever you do with these moves, you need to make sure that you do it to your own breath and within your own physical capabilities. While it's, if you can fling your arms wide like that, that's fine. If you can't, and that's it, that's the limitation you've got, it doesn't actually help to do more than you're actually capable of. My caveat is always that you need to work within 70% of what you are capable of doing at maximum, and you should never push yourself beyond that. So in a moment I will stand up, walk back so you can see me full body and take you through that move. Then when I've done that, we will go through the complete move set and then move into the meditation. As ever, the beginning of the meditation will be signalled by the sound of the singing bowl, and that will be the sound that actually ends the meditation. So, if you are sitting to do this, that's fine. If you're standing, then get yourself into position. I'm just going to move back so you can see me. Okay, so the second move is actually all about getting air. Although I'm going to talk about getting air, it's actually about getting energy into this part of your body, the middle dantian, as it is seen in traditional Chinese medicine. So all the movements of your arms need to be in this particular part of your body. So we'll start from this position. With your hands here, you just spread your arms out as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, your hands float back in and back down. Now, if within one breath you can start from here and go breathe in, breathe in, breathe in, breathe in, breathe in, breathe in, breathe out, breathe out, breathe out, breathe out, breathe out, breathe out, and go all the way down to the bottom. Well done, you're actually doing better than I can. A Tai Chi master might be able to. I'm not a Tai Chi master, I'm just a little bit further along this road than you are. The important bit of the movement is to draw energy from outside, which you do like this, and bring it in, which you do like that. And most of the action, as with your hands, as I say, needs to be in this part of your body, which is the middle dantian. So, if you're sitting, then you need to be sitting with a nice straight back and still have your feet about a hip width apart and if you're sitting, try to make sure that your hips and knees are at right angles. If you're standing, make sure you're standing with your feet a hip width apart. Nice straight back, hips, knees and toes, all in a line, knees very slightly bent. And if you think of what you would have been doing in the first move, you've been gradually moving your arms up here and then letting them float down. This second move seems to start in the same way, because as you breathe in, you bring your hands up and then turn them in and then spread them out. Now, I will try and do what I can do in one normal breath. So as you can see, I'm not getting my arms all the way out there, and I'm certainly not dropping my hands all the way down to the bottom. So if you can't, don't worry. When you're doing this move, having your core muscles engaged isn't quite as important as it is with other moves. You are not doing any turning, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't be trying to keep your core muscles engaged as you do this. So when we're going through this move and breaking it down into its bits, if you can, engage those core muscles, because it's good practice to get into, because it does actually help physically to support your back, and lower back problems can be a huge issue in today's world. So get yourself standing well, back straight, neck straight, chin parallel with the floor, and we'll pretend that you've just finished move one, and then these core muscles engaged. As you breathe in, your hands will start from down here. You breathe in, your hands float up and turn in, and you spread out. Okay, let your hands relax. As you breathe in, your chest will expand. And what I want you to try and do is let that expansion drive the movement of your arms. So you breathe in, your arms expand naturally, and as you breathe out, they relax back in and back down. Now you may very well not get your hands all the way down, that's fine. Your hands should trace a sort of Y shape in the air, so they come up and spread out, and then as you breathe out, they come back in and float back down. And if that's the sort of move that you're doing, that's absolutely fine. So the important thing with this move is to keep your hands in working within this part of your body, because this is the part of your body that we're trying to fill up with energy with this move. As simple as that. So as you breathe in, let your hands float up and out, and as you breathe out, your hands float back in and back down. And if, as I say, if your hands only float down to about there, that's absolutely fine, because you're working within that part of your body. Okay, so just to reiterate, this second move is to get energy into this part of your body. And if you bear that in mind, then what you do with your hands and arms and where you keep them makes a lot more sense. So we'll go into the regular move set. So hopefully you are sitting or standing already in a good position. And before we start the set properly, just close your eyes and just for a moment focus on your breathing, and just keep in the front of your mind the idea that everything that you're going to do for the next 20-25 minutes is for you, because you're worth it. So let your hands hang loose by your side. Just make sure your shoulders are nice and relaxed. Just breathe quite normally, and remember, find your own breath and your own rhythm with all these moves. And then with your next in-breath, slowly let your hands float up in front of you with the palms down, and as you breathe out, just let them float all the way down. Breathe in, your arms float up, and maybe you can imagine that you've got puppet strings on your wrists and elbows, so that it's almost as if you're not moving your arms at all. They're just moving all by themselves. Breathe in, arms float up. Breathe out, and they just sink all the way back down. And then the last time for this move, breathe out and let your hands sink all the way back down. And at the bottom, just relax and let go. When I say let go, I mean, obviously make sure you're still standing in good posture. Make sure your shoulders are relaxed. Make sure your hands are nice and loose. Maybe wiggle your toes a bit. Just make sure that muscles are not tensed. That's good. So now we'll go on to that second move that we've just dissected, so you don't need much of talking for this one. So as you breathe in, your hands come up and spread in and spread out. And as you breathe out, your hands come back in towards your chest and float back down. Remember that Y shape that you make in the air. As you breathe in, maybe you can imagine yourself breathing in good energy from the room. And as you breathe out, maybe you can imagine yourself breathing out any stress or tension like grey smoke. Breathe in, your arms float up and spread out. And as you breathe out, they float back in and back down. And then the last time for this move. And as you breathe out, let your hands relax and float all the way back down. At the bottom, just relax and let go. And your next in-breath, I want you to bring your hands as high as you can easily get them to form an arch. As you breathe out, dip gently on your left knee and let your right arm float down to parallel with the floor. And as you breathe in, bring your weight back to normal and bring the hand back up. Then do the same on the other side, dipping slightly, letting the hand float down. And you can turn your head and keep your eyes on your hands as they move through the air. And you can imagine that as your hands move through the air, you're painting a rainbow. Imagine rainbow coloured paint on your fingers. Breathe out. Let one hand float down. Breathe in and bring the hands back up to form the arch. And then the last time for this move. Breathe in. Bring your weight back to normal. Bring the hand up. And as you breathe out, turn your hands out. And let them float down by your side. Breathe in. Take your hands all the way up again. And as you breathe out, imagine yourself breathing energy out along your arms. And you can imagine yourself pushing away any clouds that are around you. Maybe clearing the way for you to really see that beautiful rainbow you just painted. Breathe in, let your arms float up. Breathe out, and your hands float down by your side. And then the last time for this move. Breathe out and let your hands sweep all the way down. At the bottom, just relax and let go. Maybe just take a moment to make sure that you're still happy with your stance. As you breathe in, bring your hands up into position in front of your abdomen with the palms up. Engage your core muscles as you breathe out. Turn from the waist, letting one hand drift out. As you breathe in, you turn back to face the front, and the hand just naturally drifts back in. Then do the same on the other side. Breathe out. Take one hand out to one side as you turn from the waist. As you breathe in, turn back and bring the hand back into the center. And then the last time for this move. Breathe in and bring the hands back into the center. And then just let your hands float down. And bring them up again in position to balance your chin. As you breathe in, imagine you're running your hands around the outside of an imaginary ball. And as you breathe out, they just sink down. Be careful not to take your hands higher than your heart as you do this move. Breathe in, take your hands up and over the top of the ball, breathe out, and then just sink down. And then last time for this move, breathe out, let your hands sink down, and then stand with your hands, or sit with your hands on your lap, in front of you or by your side, whatever works for you. Just for a moment, just stand still and just let everything settle. And then get yourself into position, ready for the meditation. Take a moment, get yourself comfy. As ever, this will begin with the sound of the singing bowl, and I'd like to invite you to follow the sound of the singing bowl as it fades away into silence. As the sound of the singing bowl fades away, maybe you can just let your eyes close if you find it easier. Keep your perceptions where you want them when you're doing your mindfulness. Whether you have your eyes closed or open, I want you to become very aware of how your body is being supported in the chair. Really be aware of where the chair touches your body. Maybe you can imagine gravity pulling you a little deeper into the chair. You relax a little further into it. And as you do, maybe you can imagine let your shoulders just relax a little bit more. Then I want you to bring your attention to your breath. Just focus your mind on every in-breath and every out-breath. Most of the time, breathing is so automatic we don't notice it. But I want you to notice it now, and just keep your mind focused on every in-breath and every out-breath. I want you to try and observe every breath and just notice what sensations you are aware of as you breathe in and breathe out. And don't worry if your mind wanders away, if you find that your attention has slipped away from your breath. That's natural. That's what happens. Minds do wander. When you discover that's happened, I don't want you to think, oh, I'm no good at this. Oh, I should have kept my mind on my breath. When you notice that your mind has wandered, as it will do, I want you to congratulate yourself, because noticing what your mind is doing is succeeding in being mindfully aware. So when your mind wanders off, just gently lead it back to focusing on every in-breath and every out-breath. And it doesn't matter how many times you need to lead your mind back. The important thing is that you are aware and lead it back. Because you're succeeding in being mindful. Every time you notice that your mind has wandered off, just as much as you are succeeding when you keep your focus and your attention on your breath. What do you notice about each breath? Maybe you can feel movement of air through your nose and throat. Maybe you're aware of movement of muscle in your abdomen or in your chest. Just be aware of what you notice. Maybe you're not really aware of very much. Well, that's fine. Doesn't matter. We'll all be aware of different things. Maybe you will notice that the next breath is subtly different to the one that came before. And maybe the one that comes after won't be quite the same. But still, just keep your focus on the simple act of breathing in and out. And at this moment, all you need to do is focus on just this breath coming in, just this breath going out. And maybe you can become aware of the moment of stillness in between each breath. A moment of stillness when an in-breath becomes an out-breath, and then again when an out-breath becomes an in-breath. Don't change your breath, certainly don't try and hold your breath, but just become aware of that fleeting moment when there is no movement, and when everything is still. And maybe you can imagine that every time that moment of stillness happens, it puts a little drop of stillness into your body for you to call on when you need it. Maybe as you breathe, you can imagine that stillness slowly moving around the whole of your body, so that within a few easy, gentle breaths, that feeling of stillness has been breathed around the whole of your body, all the way from the top of your head, all the way down to the tips of your toes. I'd like you to notice how good that feeling of stillness is, because when things are still, we can be calm, we can be relaxed, we can be peaceful. And very often, those feelings are so hard to find in our busy world. Just for a moment, try and have the whole of your body in your awareness, and just be aware of that stillness and that peace filling your body. And I'd like you to bring your focus back to your breath. And then slowly start to let your attention move out. So first, maybe you can become aware of the touch of clothes on your skin. And then become aware once again of how your body is supported in the chair. And then let your awareness spread out so that you become more aware of what's in the room, any sounds inside and outside the room where you are. And gradually bring yourself back to normal awareness, opening your eyes if you've had them closed. But as you do so, keep in the front of your mind the intention to take these good feelings with you through the rest of your day. Right, I hope you enjoyed that. Slightly different meditation from normal, but I do like to provide a bit of variety. Thank you for watching, whether you've watched me live or whether you're watching the recording archived on my page. If you enjoy these videos, then please check out my Patreon page and consider sponsoring me. Sponsors get access to an additional half hour each week with me, which is more specifically tailored to what they need and people's personal needs. So thank you for watching, and do please feel free to share this video with any of your friends you think may enjoy it. And I will see you next week.